The superstars of Raw ride the Fastlane on the road to WrestleMania. We're talking about it all right now. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, hello and welcome to the AFTERBUZZ TV Fastlane After Show. We are live from AFTERBUZZ TV Studios in North Hollywood. Please follow us at AFTERBUZZ TV. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Let us know what you thought about the Fastlane show tonight and what you think about this show. We're about to break it all down for you. I do have the live chat rolling. You guys have been talking your faces off all throughout this pay-per-view and following it, and we want to hear your point of view as well. We'll be checking in with you guys, so make sure you keep talking. My name is Christy Olson, and you can always reach out to me directly at Christy Reports. I love it when you do. And we are checking those hashtag WWE Fastlane tweets as well. If you don't get it, I'm telling you one more time. We want to know what you all thought about the show, because we're going to tell you what we think too. And by we, I mean these beautiful gentlemen sitting here next to me. He is known as the encyclopedia of WWE knowledge. Mr. George Hermoza is here.
I think I can speak for Steve when we both heard you say you're going to break it down.
I know.
After we just discussed this pre-show, but I'm excited to analyze and dismantle this show.
I'm trying not to make it sound too clinical because it was a fun show tonight. It was kind of a rough house, roundhouse. A lot for us to cover. And also here, another one of the beautiful boys. I thought you were going to comment on that more. So, Steve Kaufmann.
I am here. Thank you so much. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. We have 10 matches to get through.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot to discuss. So we better roll right into it because this show kicked off the way that it should with a bout Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn. This is Samoa Joe's main roster pay-per-view debut. Say that 10 times fast. Pay-per-view debut. The former NXT champ was brought up a couple weeks ago to help Triple H take care of Seth Rollins. We all know how that ended. And the feud between he and Sami Zayn started with some taunting, led to some ambushing, and they would settle the score tonight, opening up WWE Fastlane. Guys, what did you think of Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn?
I think Sami Zayn was the perfect fodder, the perfect person to bring Samoa Joe into the main roster. Because he's believable, he's credible, but he's incredibly beatable.
Ooh.
And also on a work standpoint, he'll sell. He'll sell for somebody like Samoa Joe, who's coming in as Triple H's destroyer. So everyone who wanted Sami Zayn to win, that's what the story wants you to want.
Believable but beatable. I like that a lot. Sammy's Blue Thunder Bomb stunned Samoa Joe at the beginning of this matchup, but it is not enough. Joe brutalized him throughout the match. At one point, Sammy gets his sunset flip in, but Joe holds on. There was a lot of big moments in this matchup, right, George?
I agree. Kind of going back to the Royal Rumble, or not the Royal Rumble, but the NXT. When after Seth Rollins interfered into the NXT takeover show,
yes,
you had Triple H coming in an interview saying the Destroyer's going to come in and destroy his back. Everybody thought he was referring to himself. Now, kind of looking back, it's like, oh my God, that's kind of brilliant. Now that he kind of watched back that interview, that Triple H, and he's talking about Samoa Joe the whole time, kind of like writing's on the wall, but you can't really see it until it's actually on the wall, which I thought was actually kind of cool. So I like the fact that now they're referring to Samoa Joe as a destroyer is something cool. Obviously, Vince is a big fan of nicknames, the destroyer, the architect, or things like that.
And they also went with Samoan Submission Machine as well.
Yeah. I think I heard Stephanie say that a few times too. But yeah, I thought it was okay. Obviously, we know they can do a lot better, but this wasn't about stealing the show. This wasn't about taking it back to the Ring of Honor days or PWG days. This was just about Samoa Joe coming in and proving to everybody that he is the destroyer. He is here to like a Triple H henchman, and obviously, like you said, doesn't really surprise us that Sami Zayn was kind of used in this role. Obviously, things were changed. I'm sure initially it was supposed to be Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Kind of maybe that kind of threw a kink into the Chris Jericho Kevin Owens saga, because it looked like maybe they were setting up Jericho Sami Zayn for Fastlane for the U.S. belt. But again, you know, kind of.
Also,
Plans change, y'all.
very economical with their time. This was 9 minutes 45 seconds, and I remember this is the first I'm looking at the time. I remember thinking like this was like a good 12 to 15 minute match.
So does this mean that Samoa Joe is better than Braun Strowman? Because he can actually beat Sami Zayn within 10 minutes?
Samoa Joe did win this one. We watched Sami go limp to the coquina clutch, and Joe says, "I told you so." So why don't you take a crack at answering your own question there, G. Herm?
Pretty much, so yeah. It looks like Samoa Joe, and he beat he beat Braun Strowman, or he beat Roman Reigns, who beat Braun Strowman, so by process elimination, Samoa Joe is pretty much should be the top guy.
So
6 degrees of Samoa Joe?
Pretty much.
The linear,
Exactly.
the D&D linear championship, if you will.
Well, I'm taking a peek at this graphic that just popped up on our screen here. And these are our fan predictions, you guys. Check us out at ABTV Champ. Follow on Twitter to always get the links so you can get your predictions in for the show. 0% of you, not one person out there, not one soul thought that Sami Zayn could beat Samoa Joe. Now, 7.1 did say maybe no contest, maybe something fishy goes on, but almost 93% of our fans were behind Samoa Joe for this one.
That was the most exciting data I've seen. Of these matches that I'm like, yes. That I love when people can predict so wholeheartedly that it's just like, no, we love Sami. We're happy Sami's like
'Cause they do love Sami.
consistently on television, and like what's interesting is for that graph versus the crowd reaction Sami Zayn got at the top of the night, which is completely different. Like if you had taken someone who didn't know what we know and just they were at the arena watching this match, they would think like, wow, this guy Sami Zayn really has a shot.
Right.
Which is good storytelling, good working.
Well, I'm a little concerned here for the Mexican Stallion who is in our chat, and he has been the reigning predictions champion several times. He says my predictions were mediocre. So if he's not our big winner, you guys stay tuned. We'll tell you at the end of the show who is our predictions champ and who predicted this next matchup correctly. This one was for the Raw Tag Team titles. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, or as Enzo called them, Big Gal and Andy. I wonder if those nicknames are going to stick. The club, of course, defeated Sheamus and Cesaro at the Royal Rumble in January to score these titles, their first WWE titles. But Enzo and Cass interfered in the rematch. So I was kind of half expecting the Swiss Superman and the Celtic Warrior to show up and interfere a little bit here. They didn't do that. What we did get is a lot of double team action from Enzo and Cass, but Carl and Luke dominated them until Cass got real fired up there for a while. This match definitely told a story. There were ebbs and flows, and I was thoroughly on the edge of my seat for this one. You guys too?
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I'm not as bad as some folks I'm seeing out there that are completely turning on Enzo and Cass.
Aww.
But I am starting
Really?
to, but like I'm starting to see through it as just a shtick. And I'm hoping maybe them losing tonight can ignite the fire that they had down in NXT after they got over the shtick of it all, and they would have straight up look dead into the camera promos of this is my livelihood, this is my life, this is what I want. And I'm hoping we can get there. And then that'll give versatility to their characters, and not just hot potato Kaz off the tag team scene, which is what I'm hearing they want to do. Because Raw needs more big guys, apparently. Raw needs more guys big Kaz's size to just it be in singles competition.
More monsters?
More
I mean,
monsters.
I think the story was good too, as far as like you're never gonna see Enzo or Big Cass that's gonna get dominated by the team. It's always gonna be Enzo. He's a smaller guy, you know. Obviously, makes sense. I mean, I think Enzo has a long way to go to kind of play that kind of Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton kind of role from Rock and Roll Express to kind of like, you know, building up the hot tag and whatnot. But I think they have a ways to go. I'm hoping that maybe they'll get there. Maybe they're saving their big title win for maybe the SummerSlam in Brooklyn. I know a lot of times they want to kind of build to that. I mean, I'm wrong a lot. I thought they were going to build up Bailey for WrestleMania, but I guess they kind of hotshotted that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, I've seen better from both guys. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say it was the greatest tag match I've seen in a while. I mean, it's okay.
Well, let's talk about this finish, because we did get a bit of a surprise here. Carl pins Enzo, but Luke Gallows comes up, sees that Enzo has his leg on the rope, and throws it right off of there, making this a clean win, yes?
This is
You're like, let's not go too far.
for the club. This is really clean for the club. For a team that their character is weak by any means necessary. So the fact that it's 1, 2, 3 after a finish, and that I had to throw your foot off the rope, like, it's not like the ref didn't see the foot on the rope. We're talking 1 whole second that the ref could have actually ever seen the foot on the rope. I enjoyed this.
I think it's just good tag team wrestling. That's what makes a good tag team, kind of keeping your eye on what's going on. So when you see the foot on the rope, hey, if you're in that position, what are you supposed to do? Just let it be?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no.
But no,
What?
But no, that's the right play, because if Enzo were on the outside and Kaz were being pinned and his foot were on the rope.
Yeah, and it's not even like a face
Enzo
heel
would-
thing, because we've seen a lot of baby faces do that too, where it's like, you see a lot of like, oh my god, they won. I'm sure we'll get to it when the women's match, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine.
Dylan Matthews in the chat calls this a semi-clean win and said, I love the finish. McLovin is awesome, is calling for the club versus the Revival at WrestleMania. What do you think the chances of that are, gentlemen?
If the Revival doesn't show up tomorrow, 0%.
Yeah. And plus, I'd rather see him on SmackDown. I think SmackDown needs a good. I mean, I think we have a few good tag teams on Raw. I think SmackDown only has like 2.
American Alpha needs some more competition.
Yeah, or even the Usos. But again, my biggest fear is Revival coming in and kind of them not knowing what to do with them. I know they're good. We're all saying how good they are. We all know how good they are, but we all know that they kind of lack a little something to maybe get them that extra oomph.
We all know how good the Vaudevillains were. You still have to have a reason to call them up.
Yeah.
That was that's my thing about call-ups. Call them up when it's time, not when they're ready, not when you think, not when you want.
Something like what ended up happening with Samoa Joe.
Where it's just like, no, this is time. We had a long-term plan. Maybe have a long-term plan from NXT to the main roster. I think that's a transition they're very stop and go on. They're good at times. They're bad at other times.
Well, a couple ladies who made their start in NXT, although a little time away from each other. Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's go back to our predictions real quick. I always forget about those. For Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo and Big Cass. Wow. A little over 15% of you were behind Enzo and Big Cass on this one. Meanwhile, 83.5% were back in the club. So, good call, guys.
Yeah.
Good call. Now let's move on to the Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks match. The ladies. Sasha vowed to be in Bayley's corner as she defended her title, and that irked Stephanie McMahon a little bit, and bought Sasha Banks this opportunity to go up against Nia Jax, the girl who is like no other, who Nia has been victorious over Sasha more than once, and even before this matchup, Nia Jax was boasting that she had broken the boss. But is that truly what would happen in this match? Nia threw Sasha around savagely. Michael Cole called this a dissection. Nia even squatted Sasha at one point, like literally just used her as a barbell. It was barbaric. What did you guys think of this match?
It was fun. I think I hope we're moving past Nia Jax, Sasha Banks ever again for a while. But like we've seen a lot of them. And I know part of this is Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks' injuries have kind of slowed her down week to week. That we need to keep injuries, but her and Nia Jax seems to be going on a while. That I'm happy we can move forward with it, and what's likely a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think everyone's been predicting that. George, do you agree?
I think it was a good kind of David versus Goliath kind of battle. I mean, I was fully expecting Nia Jax to completely destroy Sasha Banks, and I guess she kind of did. She really did beat the living crap out of her. So I kind of like that Sasha Banks kind of got her win back. I mean, it looks like she's kind of been beaten down for a little bit. She lost. I mean, I still, going back to Roadblock, I'm like, I was not a big fan of that Iron Man finish. Especially being as champion, like, dude, you gotta hold off 2 seconds. You're the champ, for goodness sakes. Obviously she's been destroyed by Nia Jax for the last month or two. So I kind of like that now. Sasha Banks is kind of getting back a little bit of credibility. So I'm kind of hoping that now this is going to lead again. I'll talk more about it during the women's match, but I'm hoping that they're going. I'm not hoping, but I'm thinking that they're going in a place where I think they're going to go. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about that on the women's match.
Well, AfterBuzz TV's own Sean Waltman's response to this match was to say "Sweet O'Connor roll" by Miss Sasha Banks. So it entertained the legend X-Pac. Now this one ended with Sasha winning. She pinned Nia with a bridge, and Nia looked what I called in my notes. I have it in my notes here. Scary mad. Scary mad.
What would you do if
scary mad?
What would you do if you're running? Obviously you're in good shape. You're running, you're doing your jogging, you bump into somebody, and then they give you that look.
You run the other way as fast as you can. You better hope you're not out of breath, that you haven't done your 5 miles already and you run the other way. She did. She looked scary. And she has such a pretty face. And she was making this just scary expression. I was like, oh, Nia, oh my gosh. And she apparently convinced a lot of you even before this, because almost 65% of our predictors thought that Nia Jax was going to take the W on this one, with almost 33% backing Sasha Banks. I'm actually surprised we got 2.4 of you were guessing like maybe no contest or no.
That actually seems low.
Because I thought that would be kind of likely in a situation
because
like
it seemed pretty obvious that they were moving forward with all 4 women. So to lock this up in any way, like a no contest or a schmaz, would be interesting. However, this busted so many people's brackets this show that it's like most people would have been in great shape who picked Nia Jax, and they're like, oh man. Sasha Banks, but they both look strong. So it looks like Sasha Banks survived Nia Jax and won. Instead of Nia Jax just decimating Sasha Banks, because then why do we care about Sasha Banks? Or Sasha Banks just beating down on Nia Jax. Same thing.
Right.
It works for me.
All right.
And not all of it does.
If Steve Kaufmann is happy, then we all may be. Let's have a surprise! Surprise matches from our kickoff segment. Moving on. Jinder Mahal and Rusev tried to team up, didn't go so well. And now Mick Foley says, well, hey, don't worry, guys, I got you covered. Just head down to that ring tonight at the same time, and I'll make sure there's some competitors there for you. Jinder Mahal ended up going against Cesaro, who won pretty quickly, pinning Jinder after Rusev came out and distracted him. Well, Rusev was still there. He was laid out, shall we say, from a little tiff these boys got into before the matches actually started, but he comes back around and causes a distraction for Cesaro to win this one. And then we get Rusev versus not Sheamus, who was still standing around and seemed to be there for the next match.
He was in a suit, though.
Okay, so you weren't expecting it.
Sheamus was not dressed.
Okay.
To compete.
All right, good observation, but I bet you were shocked by who we got here. The Big Show comes out to go toe-to-toe with Rusev. We can only assume that now both Big Show and Shaquille O'Neal have both said their planned match at WrestleMania 33 is likely not going to be happening now. So we did need to get Big Show out there, get him started in some kind of a feud, see him tonight and get a storyline going for him. And this seems to be what they're going for. Rusev versus the Big Show. This was a great match, as unexpected as it was, with the Big Show winning, knocking out and pinning Rusev. Kind of a big deal, guys.
Well,
kind of a big deal.
Well, I think this was all just on booking, pure retribution for the Braun Strowman. For the Braun Strowman match on Raw 2 weeks ago. That the Big Show comes back in the best shape of his life.
He looks great.
To lose to Braun Strowman. You pretty much have to rebuild Big Show after that. And Big Show, guys like Big Show or Kane or Mark Henry are no strangers to this. This is how you build them back up. Is they lose to one big monster and then they take down a bunch of little monsters along the way.
Little monsters. I think that's a movie.
But that would be, compared to the Big Show, that's what you would describe Rusev as, because that's the kind of magic Rusev has had for about close to 3 or 4 years now. That he gets to pretty much build up all the heat, then lose it all to someone like John Cena or Roman Reigns, and then build it all back up and then lose it again. That he's just kind of a heat shoveler.
Except for now he's a handsome heat shoveler.
Yeah, you forgot to call him Handsome Rusev.
Are we really going to make that happen? Just all the time?
Oh, come on. That was like the best ever when he said that.
So, real quick to the panel, do we think for sure the Shaq match is not happening?
I really don't care. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, like, I'm like, okay.
Shaq and Big Show both seem to be convinced that it won't happen, so that's pretty much all I need to know.
Fair enough. So,
Maybe perhaps it is all a ruse, which I would appreciate.
if Shaq doesn't show up tomorrow, it's not a ruse.
Like, I get it. Like,
Tomorrow's the day.
Big Show is kind
keep
of
an
that
eye
guy.
out.
You know, obviously we saw him against Akibono at 21. We saw him against Floyd Mayweather at 24.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm kind of over it. You know, like, if we see Shaq, great. If not, like, I don't think we're really losing out on something if we don't see Shaq versus Big Show.
What about the speculation that this is perhaps Big Show's last WrestleMania?
I'm not surprised. I thought last year was going to be the last WrestleMania. I thought they all kind of were looking forward to getting into that big, gigantic stadium, breaking the record, being able to say that. And I'm kind of surprised a lot of these guys haven't really officially retired yet. Kane, Mark Henry, Big Show. So,
And don't you think that Big Show deserves a big send-off at WrestleMania?
I agree. I agree. However, the Shaq match, he would have had to lose to Shaq.
he doesn't care about that, though.
Yeah, I see what that. But I wouldn't be shocked if this were his last WrestleMania, his last hurrah.
Yeah.
I would not be at all shocked if he wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal again. He becomes the only, hopefully, 2-time winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and he walks off. He walks off into the sunset. Like, I think that would be a wonderful moment for him. But
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Our chat roll, SM Down H9 says, I think it's more likely that it's Jinder Mahal versus Rusev at Mania than Rusev versus Big Show.
Pre-show.
Pre-show.
And even about Big Show, though, I mean, like, even winning, like, we all know that Big Show seems to be about pure business. Yes, maybe rewarding him, but he's not going to want to go out on top. He's going to want to put everybody. He's going to want to put somebody over. You know.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
But I'm worrying right now, similar to last year, that they have a lot of stuff they're just going to cram into the Battle Royal. That, like, as much as we think we're going to see Jinder Mahal, Rusev
You know
as
what
a
I just
singles
heard
match.
you say, Steve Kaufmann? Very eventful battle royal.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. But they and I'm not hating. I'm just saying that that's what's going to happen again, where like things like Rusev, Jinder Mahal are going to come together in the Battle Royal. I think it was Strowman, Baron Corbin from the Rumble. That'll come back together at the Battle Royal. Like a lot of those, what we think in our minds are going to be one-on-one matches are just going to be, they're going to be across from each other in like a 50-man.
I'm so excited to see the Raw guys and the SmackDown guys back in the ring together again. I think that's going to be cool.
And kudos to WWE too. Now, maybe I'm going to go as far as say unpredictable, but you know, everybody thought was going to be like, oh my God, we're going to see Jinder Mahal versus Rusev on the pay-per-view, and it didn't happen. So, ha! You don't know everything, guys.
Well, especially when you announce 8 matches and then add 2 on the day. Surprise! You have a 10-match card now.
We love it. It was like a Christmas present.
That's
Christmas in March.
That's totally not how you know your main event's running under a minute.
Well, would Jack Gallagher get a gift tonight? We shall see. Let's talk about the WWE Cruiserweight title match. Jack Gallagher versus Neville. Brit versus Brit, shall we say. Would the self-proclaimed king of the Cruiserweights be dethroned by the extraordinary gentleman in his first title defense? What did you guys think going into this one?
I thought they've already established a pattern of hot-shotting the Cruiserweight Championship, hot potatoing the Cruiserweight Championship, and I would argue Jack Gallagher's the most over man on 205 Live.
Absolutely.
Only next to Neville, because Neville is also just spitting fire every day, that I would not put it past them to just devalue the whole championship and go, no, we're just going to hotshot it. It's going to be Gallagher, it's going to be Neville, it's going to be Austin Aries, who seems to be airing 2 promos a night.
Yes.
Like, we're just going to hotshot this belt. And
Nice package, though, by the way. by
Oh, it was
Austin
such a
Aries.
good package.
What a good package.
It was huge. That's what he would want me to say, right?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this finish. Big finish here. Man, the puns are abundant this evening.
let's talk about the package,
big
then the finish. The big package, the big finish.
Well, Gallagher comes with all of these headbutts, and he seems to knock Neville out as Neville's sitting on the top rope, or does he? Neville revives himself and pulls out none other than the Red Arrow, the move we have not seen him do since he had this little change in attitude that scored him the title. I was shocked. He's done such a he's been so deliberate about separating this new persona from what we used to know him as, and part of that seemed to be putting the Red Arrow on the shelf. So when he came out with it tonight, it just made it even better to see it again.
And it made Jack Gallagher look that much stronger, where that's what he needed to do. The thing he says he never wants to do ever again. So I enjoyed this match a lot.
And Gallagher made him do it. He had to go there.
I am enjoying the cruiserweights. I will say this.
George, agreed?
I haven't really been a big fan of the cruiserweights since, they kind of came up back in November, just the whole thing. I mean, I watch 205 Live every week. I mean, I just watch it because I'm a nerd. But with that said,
I don't like it, but I watch it.
but no, I love it. No, but with that said, I think this is probably my favorite cruiserweight match since this whole cruiserweight thing has come back, excluding the CWC.
Oh, the whole cruiserweight division is backstage right now, breathing a sigh of relief. We won George Hermoza over. They can go home happy now.
Yes, well, absolutely.
And by home you mean wherever Raw is tomorrow,
Exactly.
And then wherever SmackDown is Tuesday.
But yes, I really like this match a lot. I really have high hopes for this division. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just have too many high hopes for this division, not being patient with it. But with that said, yeah, this match was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, my favorite cruiserweight match since they've been this whole thing since September or October. Yeah, I really liked it. Kudos to Jack Gallagher. Kudos to Neville. Like you said, the fact that he had to bring it out of him. We saw the Phoenix Splash, which looked like brutal. We saw that one, like the super wicked, like off the ropes German suplex.
Basically threw Jack Gallagher onto his head. Yeah.
Like, and you see the slow-mos, and I know it's like fake, but it's but it's one of those.
Not fake,
I know it's
scripted.
not fake, but it's like wow, like how do you not get hurt when you get that kind of move?
Also, Joseph Boza in the chat is citing WWE.com that says Rich Swann will be invoking his rematch clause tomorrow night on Raw.
Tomorrow night.
Thank you, Jobo.
Tomorrow
night, tune in for
Tomorrow
the
night.
rematch. All right, well, you guys were not backing Jack Gallagher on this one. Not even 10% of you thought he was going to win versus 90.6%, knowing that Neville would leave there with that title still around his waist tonight.
100
Good guess, y'all.
100% of you thought it would be a clean finish. Though.
I would like maybe 205 Live to eventually kind of become like a place where the best cruiserweights in the world come in. Obviously not like not like bringing guys that aren't signed, but like where you can watch Austin Aries wrestle. Maybe even though he's on SmackDown, bring in Kalisto, where it's kind of like, yes, you're on Raw, or it's Cruiserweight's on Raw, but here comes Kalisto. He's 205 Live is not exclusive to Raw or SmackDown, it's just the Cruiserweights, So I'd like to see Kalisto kind of mix it up with them a little bit.
I also think that would be easier if 205 Live were a monthly or a quarterly show, but that's way beyond what they're doing.
Then what would George watch the other 3 weeks of the month?
Oh, there's plenty.
Oh, come on now. Guys, hang on. I got another surprise for you.
What?
Surprise! Paul Heyman is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin tonight. He had a little chat with Charlie, and he says that Brock is the ultimate winner either way. He had me convinced, to tell you the truth. And next we see the New Day carting their ice cream out to the ring. So my point here is that I was starting to wonder, we were getting pretty far in the pay-per-view, and I thought, are they killing time? Has something gone wrong? What is going on? I thought we were building up to a Goldberg got attacked behind the scenes, and that match isn't happening.
Oh, no.
At this point.
Oh, no.
No.
God, I
Christy
wish.
was wrong.
His face is on the chair. That would be...
That's funny.
Unless he was legit hurt.
Well, so then maybe this segment was just for the New Day fans,
Maybe.
like George Hermoza.
I do
over
love
here.
music, but going back to the first surprise, I will go on record and say, and God, this is going to get me so much bad. I apologize to Renee Young because I have a new favorite. Charlie Caruso is my new favorite that will now put my energy toward. Unless I found out she's like going out with like Braun Strowman or
This
something.
is
You know?
shocking.
I know.
This is shocking.
Both Charlie and Renee. I don't play favorites.
Dude, she is looking good.
not like this guy.
Charlie Caruso.
She looks great.
Like,
She's
she's
gorgeous.
like my new number one.
She's gorgeous.
So
I saw
sorry,
her
Renee.
backstage.
Sorry, Renee.
They are all my number
sorry?
one.
You've been what I can only describe as madly in love with Renee Young for several years, George.
So this is how much of a big deal it is.
Wait, does this mean that you're abandoning blondes?
Absolutely.
Do you like brunettes now?
Absolutely not.
Thank goodness. Well, Renee, I'm sorry, but I still love you. I love you both. Let's talk about, another person who I really, really love. Braun Strowman, who went up tonight against Roman Reigns. He has mercilessly beat Roman Reigns before, but there were no tables today. We all saw last week the contract signing for this match turned into a brutal fight with an exploding turnbuckle, one of the craziest moments we've seen on Raw in quite a while. And we know also that Braun Strowman has never been pinned and has never submitted. That was something they made a big deal about it first when he was around, and then when they mentioned it tonight, I thought, oh my gosh, that's right, we haven't really been pushing that.
That was something they hadn't brought up until tonight, which led me to believe, oh great, oh great, they're bringing that up so that they can give it to Roman Reigns.
Okay, you were all ready for the spoilers.
You briefly mentioned that, or I think he did. Somebody did. One of you guys did. About the Big Show and Braun Strowman. I know where this is like 2 weeks ago. Dude, that match was awesome.
Oh, that match was incredible.
I don't care what anybody says. That match was so amazing.
I was there.
That match was so sick. I'm like, damn, this guy, Strowman can go. Like, I am really super, like, even pumped now for this guy. This guy is legit. He's not just that random, Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan, WWE, just random big guy. This guy is legit, and this guy's got a legit future in WWE.
Very much.
I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with that. They shouldn't try,
and especially
at least.
more so got an exclamation point for this match, because I think as great as Roman Reigns is, and again, I'm not a Roman hater at all, but Strowman totally made this match.
Was it the taunting with the Samoa drop that did it for you?
Everything. I think this match just totally showed just how Strowman can how great he is, and spoiler alert, I'm just afraid that now he's gonna be this guy that you build up so the babyface can win, a la like how Hogan was back in the day, how they built up Bundy and Bruiser Brody and Killer Khan and all those guys. Like, you're gonna build up the guy just so Hogan can beat him, and it was like, yeah.
But nowadays they don't do that anymore.
That Braun Strowman has a lot of support backstage, though, as well. That there are a lot of people who believe in Braun Strowman very much and in his future at the company.
I hope so, but they didn't. I mean, today is no inclination of that.
But they don't.
But pretty much you build up Braun Strowman for the last year and a half since he debuted around SummerSlam last year, just to get him beat by Roman Reigns.
But when they do that, when they talk about your future with the company, they don't necessarily mean he's going to be your top guy, your Roman Reigns, as much as they see, oh man, he could be the Big Show forever. He could be like a monster for our heroes to defeat. He can be a dragon.
I agree with you. 100% agree with you. I'm just hoping that he's not the next Umaga. Because he was a guy who was brought in, killer streak for 9 months, and only for him to lose to Cena. After he lost to Cena, yes, he had that big match with Lashley at WrestleMania, but
No, I agree with you.
It was just oh my god, his guy's got so much momentum, and now it's so I'm hoping that I'm hoping it doesn't become that. I'm hoping it's everything that you guys are saying it is. But again, tonight was just no inclination that that's going to happen.
I mean, I do not think that Braun Strowman left this match looking weak. He put the guy through the announce table. I mean, and really in this, let's talk about the finish a little bit. Braun Strowman climbs the top rope, which is not something, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen him do a whole lot, if ever, maybe. And he was ready to drop a big bomb and splash, but Reigns retaliated with a big spear. So this, to me, was a very believable finish. And Roman Reigns wins, pinning Braun Strowman after that big spear. Let's talk about what you guys thought was going to go down here. 43.5% thought Braun Strowman was going to win versus 29.4% of you backing Roman Reigns. But the interesting stat here, over 27% of our ABTV predictors suspected a dirty finish on this one. Dirty, dirty.
That was a safe bet.
I think it was.
Because y'all
were wrong, but it was a safe bet.
It was a safe bet, but it was a very safe bet, and the argument behind that would be that they have so much behind Braun Strowman that they don't want to bury him here tonight. However, what it looks like we're moving forward to, which is a Roman Reigns Undertaker, Roman Reigns needs to have as many eggs in his basket as he possibly can heading into WrestleMania.
Do you guys believe the rumors that Roman Reigns will be taking on The Undertaker
I absolutely believe
at
this.
the biggest show of the year.
Now I do, because he's been saying for like weeks how this is his yard, and that was
He
what
said
The
that
Undertaker
on-
was saying like 16 years ago when he came back as American Badass. This is what he was saying over and over again, how this is his yard, and he even kind of said it a few times over the last few years.
He said that on Talking Raw tonight. He threw Undertaker out, like the Rumble. The Rumble, Undertaker went out due to Roman Reigns. Like there's a lot on the table now for us to not think that, for us to absolutely think that this is where they're going, that Undertaker's going to show up tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, one of the 4 bonus questions I added to the quiz was, do you think The Undertaker will appear?
I thought we were going to see him tonight.
67.1% of the AfterBuzz TV predictors also thought we'd see The Undertaker tonight.
Oh, good. That makes me feel better.
No, you were not alone. That seemed pretty obvious, and that would have been an easier way for Braun Strowman to lose tonight. I like what they did here to just make it on pure chip. So on pure merit, on pure data.
Well, Emmanuel Dominguez says regarding Roman versus Taker, I don't believe it until I see it. He does not believe that. And Steve Herman said Cena versus Undertaker is what it should be. I believe John Cena pretty
agree.
much said that himself on SmackDown last week.
I totally agree, but I have a fun prediction that's based on his prediction.
All right, well, let's talk about the ladies. The Raw Women's title was up for grabs tonight as well, with champion Bayley, who's a fairly new champion. She got this title at Raw last month, goes up against the undefeated Charlotte Flair, who was working a 16-win streak before tonight. That is the record for all female, male, all superstars of all time. Charlotte gets the streak record. This title, though, has changed hands 7 times in the last year since being introduced at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. So I didn't know what was going to go down tonight. I'm sure you all were wondering as well. And the first to start us off, Charlotte sends Dana Brooke packing. They come out and she says, get off my stage. Dana's had a very eventful weekend. She competed in the Arnold Classic on Friday in the fitness category. There's a video online. You guys should check it out. It's really, really cool. And Bayley starts off this one fired up. She's not sending anybody away because she's out there all by herself. Sasha Banks is nowhere to be seen. Gentlemen, this is what I would call an action-packed matchup. Agreed?
Agreed. 16 minutes, 55 seconds. It's
Wow.
the second longest match of the night.
As it should be.
And they made use of every second. One question that I must have missed. How was there not a DQ on the Sasha Banks run-in?
I don't think at any point Sasha did any damage for Charlotte. I think it was mostly like they were
But like that, but
link up, but I don't think there was an actual like a attack on Charlotte.
But it was still.
I just think
I don't know. I know it's referee's discretion, but that's one sentence. That's one sentence Michael Cole can say. Thank God the referee didn't call this a disqualification, because it's up to his discretion. That's all I was missing. That I had to go on here. Like, was this a no DQ match? Did I miss this? Just because you get to bar Dana Brooke, does that make it? I don't know. Because there was definitely enough contact that I've seen that go down as a DQ finish before. Mm-hmm. Not that I wanted to see a DQ finish. I'm a stickler for the rules, guys.
Well, let's talk about what happened before Sasha came out. Bayley delivers a head scissors on the outside and a splash from the top rope. She looked strong, definitely, in this one from the beginning. Charlotte, however, delivers a moonsault and a senton combo, but that even doesn't keep Bayley down. That was very, very impressive. She retaliates with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope and then climbs right back up to the top rope and gives Charlotte a big elbow. That's when Sasha comes in and interferes. Bayley delivers a Bayley to belly on the outside to Charlotte, but Charlotte rolls Bayley up, and she's got her tights. You guys, this is typical dirty Charlotte Flair stuff. That is precisely why Sasha Banks felt she needed to run out there. She lets the ref know that Charlotte is holding on to Bayley's tights, therefore giving Bayley the opportunity to pin Charlotte and retain her Raw Women's title, her highly valued, coveted, long-awaited for, precious Raw Women's title. And I mean, that's something we can all get behind, right?
Yes.
Everybody loves the hugger.
Yes, but Sasha Banks's hands aren't clean in this.
Ooh.
It's not like she saw the tights and then ran down. Like, Charlotte wasn't doing anything nefarious to get Sasha Banks to run out there. My thought is that we're gonna see Sasha Banks turn on Bayley in the next 2 weeks to set up true animosity among all of these ladies.
You know, I'm not sure that Sasha would even have to turn on Bayley. I think Bayley has wanted this for a long time, and she's going to want to prove that she can do it herself, and she may begin to get frustrated with Sasha feeling like she has to come in and save her. So I don't know that Sasha necessarily needs to turn on her. I think Bayley can have her own Bayley way of maybe turning the tables on Sasha.
But how do you think the fans are going to? I'm sorry. How do you think the WWE universe is going to react when everybody's out there and you clearly see Sasha coming out every single week, thinking Bayley can't do it, thinking that Sasha thinks that Bayley can't do it by herself. We clearly saw that today. We clearly saw that, like you said, Charlotte wasn't doing anything illegal for Sasha to come out. It wasn't until like the tights and whatnot. Like, and who cares about the tights? Most people kick out of that anyways. If you can't get out of the tights thing, then you gotta do something else. And then obviously at the end with like the distraction and whatnot, it's like, dude, like I don't know. So I kind of like that they're doing that. And I don't think it's necessary for Sasha to turn heel, but I do think it's going to happen.
Okay.
To play devil's advocate, do we think, because Bayley was on talking Raw or Raw Talk. Bayley was on Raw Talk with Sasha Banks, and they were just hanging out like besties.
They referred to themselves as the Olsen twins. They were wearing the matching jackets. They were super cute.
Do we think that's counterintuitive or counterproductive to the Bayley character we know up till now? Do we think the Bayley character wouldn't have blinders right now? And it would be more like, hey, I want to win on pure merit. I want to be the best.
No, she's just happy to have her title. She thinks her friend is happy for her. And I think when you're going up against Charlotte Flair, you're happy to have anyone in your corner.
But I think we're gonna see someone call out. Like you said, I think Bayley just unaware. I think she's in that sting where like from early '90s where she just doesn't know. Like I think she's completely blind to it. We're gonna see somebody specifically call it out, and Sasha's gonna sit there and be like, you know what? I don't think Bayley can win on her own. And then I think you'll see some animosity and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, but my only thing is if Sasha does turn heel, then is Bayley going to be the only babyface? Is Emma going to come back as a heel or a face? Like, are they bringing in somebody else from the women's division? So who knows? I don't know. I doubt Bayley's just going to be the only lone babyface on the roster though. So again, we'll see what happens.
I think she might be the lone babyface in a four-woman match, just because WrestleMania is such that it exists in its own world. That, it's Charlotte Flair. It's Ric Flair's daughter. You saw her at the last WrestleMania. So she's going to headline that match. She doesn't need to be a face. Nia Jax is just a monster. Sasha Banks is going to tween in this gray area of, I'm Sasha Banks and I'm the boss and I've been cocky this whole time, but Bayley's my bestie, but I don't think she can win. And like that's going to be the dynamic of the match. And then hopefully the SmackDown women get a one-on-one. But that'll...
I am certain that they will. Let's talk about how you guys thought this was going to go down. A little over 74% of you thought that Charlotte Flair was going to get back the Raw Women's title. Meanwhile, 14.1% of you were back in the hugger Bayley, and 11.6 or 8 or something, I need new context, almost 12% of you predicted another dirty finish for Charlotte Flair. Now, that's what it would have been had she been holding on to those tights, right?
Yeah. Well, no. If the referee had declared it a win, it would have just been a win.
Well, that's true. I mean, we count on the refs to do the right thing, and they do.
Like if Sasha Banks came in and punched both of them at the exact same time, and the referee had to rule it a no contest. That's what they were predicting. Something like that.
That's not what happened.
Not at all.
Not what happened. Jesus in the chat says that Stephanie McMahon should strip
Jesus?
Bayley of her title. Yeah.
Jesus.
It could be either way. He's not here to ask. All right, gentlemen.
He's not speaking to us in a medium where we can know how he pronounces his name.
It just kind of sound like Jesus Christ was in the chat. Oh, Jesus in the chat, you know?
You don't know. You don't know what he's up to right now. Maybe he's a huge Goldberg fan. Let's talk about.
That'd be weird.
Let's talk. Would it really though?
Well, Jesus is a Jew, but go on.
Oh, good point. All right.
We're not in the weeds at all, guys.
Enough of that. Let's get to the main event of the evening, the WWE Universal title match, Goldberg versus the champion, Kevin Owens. Goldberg himself is a former two-time world champ. Would he be taking the title to WrestleMania, where he's going up against Brock Lesnar? And Kevin Owens had no BFF in his corner tonight. As we all saw, he attacked Jericho during the Raw Festival of Friendship because Jericho accepted a Goldberg match on Kevin Owens' behalf. We finally saw them step into the ring tonight, and then Kevin Owens proceeded to step out of the ring. Several times he was teasing Goldberg. We didn't know if he was buying time. What was he up to? I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about what went on after that.
Nope.
The internet's got a lot to say. The WWE Universe has been loud about this one. What is your take?
The end game since the Las Vegas Raw 4 weeks ago has been Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Many of us on the internet have argued that Goldberg, Brock Lesnar did not need a world championship to be the attraction it is. WWE Creative disagreed with us, and they booked a match at Fastlane that would be Kevin Owens, Goldberg for the Universal Championship. On paper, there's no way Goldberg could lose to Kevin Owens.
Okay.
What I wanted to see was a 7.5 minute match where Kevin Owens fends off Goldberg as much as possible. Then Chris Jericho shows up and distracts him, and that's the match. But then you have to risk making Goldberg run more than 90 seconds.
Well, and you can't always get what you want, Steve Kaufmann.
No, to also say I enjoyed what they did here, which they made Kevin Owens look like the smart mind games person who would have went 7 minutes with Goldberg had Chris Jericho not screwed him.
I know you've got the timing on this match, because that's what you do. So give it to us.
The initial report on this match was 15 seconds. It's been changed to 22 seconds. So under 30 seconds. It was one spear. One spear and then a referee's 3, which is like 6 seconds.
And far shorter than Goldberg's matchup with Brock Lesnar.
Correct.
All right. George, you're being kind of quiet.
I never want to be one of those people that just says like, oh, every indie guy should be the belt. Oh my God, Goldberg first match and only match in 12 years, whatever. But come on, man, like,
14.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, George. I like that. But anyways, yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, come on, man, like. You have these guys talking smack about like how part-timers come in, like full-timers get no love, and it's like, dude, you can't blame them for speaking out because it's true. You have guys like Ziggler saying that. I'm not saying I'm sure that's one reason why Punk left, one of many reasons why Punk left. But again, seeing guys like Batista come back and win the Rumble just with no match after not being there for 4 years, especially Goldberg, who like would badmouth the company, so much, and then saying like, oh my God, it was the worst year of my life, and now he's back, and oh my God, Goldberg's the greatest ever. It's just one of those where it's like all those things put together, it just I don't know, it just kind of left a sour note, and just Kevin Owens pretty much killing it for like the last 6 months as champ, and now it's like now you don't have a belt to go into WrestleMania. Even like a bigger picture, it's like
you have to agree that this is what's best for business.
I disagree. Really? I think the match, like he said, doesn't need the belt. I think the belt doesn't need the match. I think more there could have been a lot.
Just picture the belt like getting up and walking away.
I don't need this.
Yeah, I just feel like
I'm champion of the universe.
The Jericho Owens match has been building up for the last 9 months that like this match deserves the belt. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need the belt. It doesn't whatever. It deserves the belt. Owens Jericho, and just like even with Goldberg coming back, it's one of those things where when a guy comes back, I don't want to see them face somebody who's they faced before. I don't want to see Brock versus Big Show or Undertaker. We saw it already in Brock Lesnar's first stint. I want to see like Brock versus Kevin Owens. I want to see Brock versus Samoa Joe. I want to see Goldberg versus Samoa Joe. I want to see all these new matchups. I don't want to see a match that WrestleMania 33 we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so 13 years in the making. Like, come on. I don't know. It just. I don't know.
it plays into something I said last week, and people stared at me a little blankly. WrestleMania is its own canon, its own timeline, in the sense that up until WrestleMania, meaning here we are at Fastlane, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, up until then, Kevin Owens was the top guy. We're heading into WrestleMania. Kevin Owens is not the top guy anymore. It's Goldberg. Because he's going to main event it against Brock Lesnar, another guy who's not there every day. I'm not saying it's right. I am saying that that's how it... Like, if you look at WrestleManias chronologically, it makes sense if you look at them separate of the pay-per-views that follow them.
Absolutely, because you get a lot of casual fans who get excited and really start to pay attention around WrestleMania time. And those are the people that they're catering to.
But at the same time, though, like, those casual fans don't only watch for WrestleMania. Don't you want to introduce them to a new crop of wrestlers so that way they can become non-casual fans? Don't you want everybody to know who Kevin Owens is and AJ Styles is, not just rely on the Goldberg, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Rock dynamic?
The argument would be if you put... And I'm not agreeing with it, because we've done Brock Lesnar Goldberg to death. But the argument would be if you put Brock Lesnar Goldberg on the top of the card, that people are going to buy the whole card, and then they're just going to see Kevin Owens Jericho. And I think also the argument is that enough people know who Chris Jericho is that you can sell them on Chris Jericho can sell them who Kevin Owens is.
And again, if this was Brock Lesnar beating or becoming the Universal Champion, I will totally buy that. I'd be like, all right, Goldberg now has a couple of victories of Brock Lesnar. Now can he beat Brock when it matters? Can he beat Brock when it's for the Universal Championship? Now it's like, well, Goldberg already beat Brock Lesnar, not only in a minute 20, but he also beat him at the Royal Rumble when he eliminated him. Like, what more do I want to see Goldberg do? Like, what is he going to prove by beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? The fact that I have to ask these questions shows, like, this match shouldn't be happening, but it shouldn't be happening for the Universal Championship.
No, I agree with you on that, girl. In the world that, like, as of this morning, you couldn't change the match. So this was the best we could do. I also want to point out they've done an incredible job making Kevin Owens look like a credible world champion, like a credible competitor for Goldberg, like somebody who could beat Goldberg, who, despite the fact that he's 50. Still holds the mystique of he's Goldberg, he shows up, he rarely wins, his matches rarely go longer than 4 minutes. For Kevin Owens to walk in looking that strong is a testament to what they think in him and what they'll think of him the Raw after WrestleMania when they get back to business as usual.
And also, too, actually, it doesn't mean the Raw after WrestleMania. But if anything, even like from the world of Chris Jericho, you will think that in the WWE logic, don't you think that you have probably a match coming up with Kevin Owens? So why would you do anything to kind of cost him that championship? Yes, don't forget, you're still the United States champion, but isn't the Universal champion a lot bigger than the United States?
That it's friendship.
It got so personal with those two that I believe it. Let's take a look at our predictions. Over 61% of you were backing Goldberg versus 31.8% predicting that Kevin Owens would retain the title, and 7.1% were thinking that this one might not end up so clean, which it did.
Yeah, straight up, 22 seconds. So we also asked people, will Chris Jericho appear? 85.9% of you were correct.
That was an easy one, I'm going to say. That was an easy call.
Something the AfterBuzz predictors had a hard time with was, will Brock Lesnar appear?
I would have said yes to that as well.
That was literally a coin flip. 51-8 to 48-2.
Wow. I was hoping for him.
I was hoping for him too. I was actually hoping for both of them to run in and then like pretty much get thrown out at the same time, and then for us to at least have an actual match. But once again, that you don't protect Goldberg that way.
The only silver lining for this, for me at least, is at least I didn't get to see little Goldberg Jr. without a shirt.
Aww, their family is so cute, and I love that the mom was there, wife was there with taking the photos right away of everybody, and there seemed to be some extended family there. That's really cool.
That is cool.
When he said he wanted to come back and be a superhero for the kids, and to see him with his family, and that humanizes him very much. This guy who's such a monster, and I just love those moments.
But
I love it.
I can only see like Survivor Series, like, hey son, after my match, you're gonna take off your shirt. But Dad, I don't want to take off my shirt.
We'll see what happens at WrestleMania. You never know.
28 days.
28 days. Guys, do you want to do some predictions?
Ooh, yes.
All right.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we don't have a final card on this one. What do you think we're going to see?
This Miz Maurice, Cena Nikki Bella match is all but guaranteed.
Yay!
I'm doubling down on what George Hermoza said last time we were here, that this, not to say this isn't a WrestleMania match, but this WrestleMania match is actually a ruse for John Cena to ask Nikki Bella in the middle of the ring in front of everyone.
Said that.
You literally.
I never.
Or did Tom Collins say that?
Probably Tom, but I.
Someone
never said
from
that.
this side of the table last time said that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we've been predicting that on the SmackDown.
I think
show.
Goldberg over Lesnar, and then Lesnar. I don't know. I don't think they know what to do with Lesnar after that, but they'll have to figure it out.
Well, I'm going to say this. I know I said this on the SmackDown show, but it's really important. So that the whole idea of a possible proposal thing makes me think that, of course, they're going to do a real proposal off camera, like real human beings, and that makes me think that that already happened. And so that makes me think that maybe Nikki and John are engaged IRL in real life. I know. I'm like super excited. So we shall see.
Although I would have rather seen Cena and Nikki against Ziggler and Mickey.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been awesome. Like
That
they
would have
could have
been.
had some brutal promos on each other. Some
That
like
could
the
still
Battle of the
happen.
X's.
That could still happen if this whole John Cena and Nikki Bella on screen on WWE TV thing works for the fans. Maybe we'll end up seeing a lot more of it.
Dude,
I'm
I hope
behind
that
it.
that to me is a WrestleMania match. But especially after last week's Miz TV on SmackDown, which that whole segment was just so like perfect 10. Like that match, that segment would just be on like glued to my seat every single second of it. I'm totally pumped for this match now. I know it's all but official, but yeah, this whole Cena Nikki dynamic, now they're in the ring together for the first time and everything.
Smooching.
And Miz and Maurice, obviously they're just gold together. But yeah, I totally see this as, and everybody says like it's a waste of Cena. Like I don't think so. Cena's kind of becoming like as a way, like now over the years, it's like who's gonna get the main event slot, who's gonna get the Undertaker slot. Now I think a lot of people are thinking like who's gonna get the Cena slot. Because Cena's like a big time matchup now. I don't know if anybody knows, but having Cena Mania is really big now. So the fact that Miz is in that spot after having that killer year since the draft, kudos to Miz, and the fact that I think one of my friends was like, "Oh, this is a waste of everybody." I'm like, "No, like this is like probably going to get the most spotlight as far as like mainstream publicity, as far as Total Divas, Total Bellas, this is going to get the most eyes probably."
Total Divas returns April 5th.
Where do we think Samoa Joe's going? You can't put him in the Battle Royal.
I think you put him in the Battle Royal.
Really?
Nah, no. I mean, I would want to see. It's too late for that now. Like him versus AJ, like winner gets Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins will pop up and there'll be some kind of drama.
But Seth Rollins gonna be against Triple H.
No, I don't know that he'll be able to do that.
Oh, do you know
could
something?
see him. No, gosh, no. But I could see him just maybe more trying to run some interference or trying to get at Joe at some point throughout the weekend, maybe even before Mania. You never know. Seth Rollins is an unpredictable guy. That's all I'm saying.
I'll actually call it right now. NXT TakeOver Orlando. Samoa Joe is sitting front row or otherwise there, and then Seth Rollins attacks him. And then there's a locker room clear out to like pry them from each other. And you make it happen on NXT, and Triple H comes out in the middle of the locker room clear out and screams at them both. It's a whole...
That could happen.
Do it.
That could happen. And you know what? The AfterBuzz TV team will be there at WrestleMania, covering it all for you. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to be watching the show. And you're going to want to tune into AfterBuzz TV and check it all out. Also, tune into Raw tomorrow night, Monday, for Seth Rollins' rehab report. So he will give us a little update. This is an exclusive look at how he's been healing, and maybe we'll get a better idea of if he'll be back for WrestleMania or not. Also, season 2 of Ride Along premieres tomorrow after Raw, and it looks like fun. I'm excited for it.
I'm waiting for the AfterBuzz Ride Along.
The Ride Along after show?
Yeah. No. Us on Ride Along AfterBuzz.
Nah, I'd rather just talk about the WWE stars on Ride Along.
Well,
But they can talk about us on our Ride Along.
we do have one last piece of business, and that is the AfterBuzz TV Predictions Championship.
Yes, tell them about it, Steve Kaufmann.
So,
Ominous.
for an 8-match card with 4 bonus questions, so 12 total questions, we had an 8-way tie.
Are you serious?
All 8 people had 9 of the 12 correct.
Wow.
It was pretty incredible. It came down to the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker was how long do you think the Kevin Owens-Goldberg match would go? The winner was the person to choose under 60 seconds, who was David Rose 92. He's at David Rose 92. He is our AfterBuzz TV predictions champion heading into WrestleMania. He has 1 point. WrestleMania is worth 4 points.
Oh.
The most points at the end of WrestleMania will win the prize.
Yeah, we got to go to Mania and get those prizes. It's going to be good stuff, I promise. They always give us a bunch of good stuff, and we give it to you guys. So, I'm sorry, David, right?
Yes.
All right, congratulations, David. And everybody brush up, keep up on your WrestleMania card and everything that's going down so that you can put your predictions in, and make sure you follow the ABTV Predictions Champ on Twitter so that you know where to go do that at. And guys, if they want to reach out to all of you directly, where would they do that?
You guys can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV, and I tweet about them very regularly.
You can follow me at Hermoza, GHERMOZA, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all the above.
And a shout out to our intern Anissa. Hey girl, I see you in the chat. And you guys can always hit me up at Christy Reports on Twitter and Instagram. I love to hear from you. And make sure you tune in to Making Their Way to the Ring with Lillian Garcia tomorrow. AJ Styles will be her special guest. And on Wednesday, on Sean Waltman's X-Pac 12360, we will have the exotic Adrian Street. Gonna be a lot of fun. Please tune in, follow the entire AfterBuzz TV team at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you for hanging out with us in the chat. We will see you in Orlando. Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.